Hello, hello, Facebook. Hmm. So, I'm coming on here today with a very good friend. You may have met her already on my live streams on Instagram. Her name's Kashi, and we are going to be co-facilitating a retreat together in 4 weeks from now. So, I'm gonna figure out, I don't know if I need to do anything, if she's just going to jump on. I guess she will just jump on when she's here. Yeah, so this retreat is called Tantrahuasca, and it's for women only. It's a week long, and it's in Costa Rica in 4 weeks, 21st of October. And I'm so excited. It's going to be the first one ever, as far as I know, the first time ever that these two modalities of Tantra and Ayahuasca have been put together into the same work, the same offering being brought together. And to me, they have really so much in common. And it makes just so much sense that they're put together. And there's, in the shamanic way, sometimes sex is actually kind of frowned upon. They say that sex doesn't go together with ayahuasca. The ayahuasca doesn't like it. You should abstain for 3 days before and afterwards. And actually, that is not at all my experience. To me, the essence of Tantra and the place that ayahuasca can take you to, that is absolute union with the cosmos, merge into the oneness experience of God, of existence, and they both take you to that place. So is that Kashi? No. Yeah, and so there are different pathways, obviously, to reach that place. And for me, any spiritual path, whatever, or the essence of any religion, really, is to have that direct experience of God, of divinity, not a belief in something, but that direct inner experience. And this is the stage that we're setting in this retreat. And why are we not all living in that all of the time, right? Because that is actually our natural state. So why are we not living that? Who is this? Hello, I don't know. I can't see who's here. And Kashi doesn't seem to be arriving. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep on talking. What was I saying? Yeah, these. Here we go. Okay, so 1 minute. I'm gonna bring her on camera. Yes, we're adding Kathy. She is joining us any moment. Aha!
Hey,
I can hear you this time.
amazing.
Brilliant. We tried to do a Facebook Live a few weeks ago, our first time for both of us doing it, two people together, and I couldn't hear Kashi at all.
Many times.
Yeah, 3
But
times
now,
and we failed. But
yeah,
today it's working. It might be because I don't think it was because I had my phone on silent last time. No,
I know
because on Instagram it worked.
we're on Facebook. Hi, Facebook family. I'm excited. I never do Facebook Lives, so this is like exciting.
It is, huh?
Ah,
Yeah.
cute.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's a rainy day. I'm back in Costa Rica. It's a rainy day. I wanted to give full jungle beauty around, but the rain is loud, so I'm inside. And you're also inside.
I'm inside. The light's better in here. I'm in London. It's actually
Yeah.
quite nice. We're talking about the weather again.
Uh,
We're English. What can I say?
it's so relevant. So
Yeah.
relevant. It sets the mood. I felt like I wanted this live to be kind of like secured, and kind of intimate, because I thought maybe we could talk. I mean, you're fresh from a workshop. Slow mo then. You're fresh from a workshop. So maybe I don't know what you were already talking about actually when I came in.
Yeah, I was kind of in a roundabout way getting towards the theme of our day. Like we thought that we'd talk about today what's just happened for me at this incredible workshop, super deep, super powerful workshop with ayahuasca. And then we were going to talk about what it actually means to be a goddess, what it means for us, because we're talking about this quite a lot at the moment. So what do we actually mean by it? And I was kind of moving in that direction. I was sharing about why ayahuasca and Tantra to me are so aligned, how the essence is the same. It's about reaching to that same essence, and why we're not living that all the time. And we're not living that all the time, I was about to say, because of all the rubble in the way, all the conditionings, the thought patterns, the ego identity that keeps us separate. And
I like the word, I don't often use that word for it, but it's...
Which word? You disappeared just for that word.
The word rubble.
Rubble.
Because I talk about like peeling back the layers and like cleaning out the closet and clearing out your backyard. But it's like, it's rubble, it's debris. It's just like the extras, you know, that get in the way of like us experiencing ourselves as we really are, and that essence that we're talking about. So yeah. And I was actually meaning to share it before. I wanted to share it on my Facebook, the transmission that you filmed, because I feel like it's really beautiful, really relevant. And for me, it brought up a lot of, it brought up one of my journeys with ayahuasca that was very similar. And I think it's really interesting to dive into like that journey of like, first of all, you have your own personal rubble. You know, like you have your personal rubble from this life and your trauma and your childhood issues and all of that. Like everybody has that. And then you have the collective unconscious rubble, you know, and it's like as you move through clearing both, then it's like you're polishing that diamond that is that divine essence, that is that goddess within you. Let's say the essence of the feminine, like that pure divine spark or divine center. So yeah, I don't know, just from me watching your transmission, which I highly recommend, guys. I'm going to share it on my page. Yeah, make sure you watch that. Yeah, it is that journey. It's like your own rubble and then the collective rubble. And then once you're really through that, you get to that diamond, which is all, it's not like you can't access it until you've done all the construction rubble moving, but like the clarity with which you access it becomes sharper. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. And I see that we're all of it all of the time. Actually, we always are that essence, that divinity. And there's also, I mean, I think I believe they say even in enlightenment that there's still the head ticking away. It's just you're not identified with it. It's like there's all the layers of the, you know, the emotional wounding and the unconscious and the conscious mind and the essence, and we float between them. And I think in one way that ultimate being a goddess is when you're in that state of divinity, but then in another way, being a goddess actually in the human body is actually being aware of whichever layer of being that you're at in any one moment. So you can be like, okay, right now I'm in my full goddess, like flow, create, pure creative, like pure spontaneous essence, God, love, beingness. And when we're in that, yes, we're in our goddess, but then in a way, like we're also in our goddess when we're in the depths of our pain, or in, you know, in the protection, as long as we can be aware of it. If we can be aware and we can be present, okay, this is what's happening right now to this one. And it's just that awareness and that bringing acceptance to those layers.
Yeah, I love that. It's like when you're clear rubble, like that's still part of it. It's like when you're actually in that process of alchemizing, let's say the pain or the wound, and you're actually bringing your consciousness to it, even in that moment where because of that wound or because of that pain or because of that emotion or experience, you feel like you're just on the floor, or you're just broken, or you're just like just in so much pain actually, or rage, or whatever emotion it is. It's like that goddess within you is the part that's alchemizing it, that's like, okay, honey, go through it. This is part of your power. It feels like pain right now, but it's part of your power. So you need to be in it. You need to feel it. You need to experience it. whether it's yours, like your own personal stuff, or whether it's actually bigger than that and it's something that's resting, that's like lodged in the collective feminine unconscious or the collective unconscious.
Yes, which brings us around to my experience a few days ago.
I like, bring it on. I haven't even recorded you. I want to hear it.
Yes. Wow. I mean, I've been drinking a lot of medicine in the past 10 years. And this one was one of the deepest, most profound, most powerful of all of them. It was as if like the medicine, led me into this place where I was connected into like 5 centuries of the abuse of women. And it wasn't seeing the suffering, it wasn't horrific, it wasn't painful, it wasn't really going into all of the horrors of that. It was that I was witnessing, it's something that's like, it's hard to put into words, right? Like anyone that's drunk medicine knows, like you can't encapsulate what happens in that space into words, like the mind can't grasp it. But it was that, it was energetically realigning what has happened over the past 500 years to women, to us as a collective. And it was, so if you know family constellations, like in family constellations, you kind of play out the scenario, each person's playing their role, each one kind of intuitively plays it out. And then towards the end of the session, the facilitator will put people in their rightful place. So instead of it being this, you know, with the mum over there that wants to turn her back on the child and the dad over there that's feeling angry, you know, instead of all this kind of drama, he realigns it that the youngest of the generations are there at the front, and then behind that are the parents, and then behind them are the grandparents, behind them are the grandparents, great grandparents. So it's everyone's in their rightful place, that like here alive at the front, receiving the support of all of those that have come behind. And in this way, it actually realigns the energetics, if those words work for you, or it's like it shifts the coding if those words work for you. It's like these subtle energetic layers, it rearranges things into the way that they should be. So it was like, in that way of family constellations, like the ancestrals behind, it was like, but not in that same way, just in its own way, it was being energetically realigned, that what had happened specifically to women over the past 500 years were being brought back into the right place. And this was happening for, I don't know, like probably an hour or something through me. And as it was happening, my body, I was kind of a bit in a fetal position on the ground, and my body was being kind of like from here, from like behind the heart at the back, was being like lifted up and slammed down on the mattress, like lifted up and slammed down, lifted up and slammed down. And it was like this, whatever trauma of this collective unconscious that's stored in my body was being worked out of it. And you know that Jung spoke about that each one of us has access, has inside us all of the, you know, this collective unconscious of what's happened to our ancestry. But most of the time we're not aware of it. We're not, we can't grasp it. But in this moment, for me, I was totally tapped into that. And so, yeah, it was resetting things. And then the next morning I woke up like super early, and this message, that the transmission that I shared, the video I shared it this morning, this message just came through. And as I was rereading, like it just flowed straight through. As I was rereading it, I was crying, like these words felt so powerful. And they came from this place of having just the day before done this work of not that I did it, it happened through me, but that this work happened of realigning what's happened to women over the centuries. and how that paves the way for things to change now, like why it feels really pertinent now as we're coming up to Tantrahuasca, and just like this time on the planet that really feels for so many of us like the feminine is rising, like the balance is being restored. It's this new paradigm and bringing this balance, and what's needed on the earth is this rise of the feminine way. And that experience of feeling this realignment happening paves the way for things to be different in the future. We're not running off the same collective unconscious anymore. We're running, things have shifted at that deep, deep, deep energetic level, which opens a path for things to now be different. So that's what I find so powerful. Like, you know, many people come out of family constellations and shifts happen. Like when I did it, my family didn't know anything about it, but the whole dynamic completely changed. Stuff, you know, shifts happen. So I'm just so amazed, like what this will, what shifts this will bring. Yeah, and it's all happening, you know, much more than just my experience. It's happening on such a global scale at the moment. So.
Yeah, wow. I feel like I have to share, and I don't know if I've shared it with you before, but this experience you just described, and when I heard your transmission as well, brought me straight back to a ceremony that I did maybe 13 years ago. I'm thinking, when was it? It was probably between 13 and 15 years ago, quite a while ago, where basically I didn't experience it on such a level of, let's say, recoding and like restoration. I think also that stage of my journey, I wasn't there. But I experienced the pain of the collective feminine it felt like in every form it was possible. And I knew at the time that it wasn't me, because it was like all this emotion of things that had not actually happened to me in this life. And it didn't even feel like a lot of it had even happened to me ever. Yes, coming. Yes.
The change is coming.
Yeah, I mean, the change is here. So anyway, it feels in a funny way, like your experience that you've just had, and like totally pertinent, because this is like right before, you know, Tantrahuasca. And for people who don't know, who are watching, this is Tantrahuasca is a retreat combining, you probably announced it at the beginning actually, but combining Tantra and Ayahuasca that we're doing in Costa Rica next month. So your experience feels like almost like the completion or the counterpart to this experience I had in Mexico, which was basically just like, it was the death side of it. There wasn't that much of the rebirth, you know, and it was so beyond what I could comprehend at the time, because it was just for me, most of it was emotional. It was just like, I was it was like the emotion was getting purged out of me, through me, whatever it was, of all these traumas that the feminine has experienced on such a collective grand scale. And it was like, it blew my mind. I actually have a photo of myself that I took. This is way before smartphones, right? And I just took it on like a digital camera, because I was just like, who am I now after this experience? Like, I'd never experienced in all the other ceremonies I did anything like that. And it was just, it was one of the most potent times where I really felt like I went beyond the personal in such a deep and profound way. And it felt like that was like the washing out, you know, it was like through the emotion, all of that got purged out. So it was like, in some sense, it was part of my recoding, and it was part of what you experienced in your own way in that resetting, because it was such a deep, what's the word? Yeah, like purging really, but just also not beyond purging. It was like experiencing it. It was bringing the light of my consciousness to these dark corners, to these dark spaces, to these wounded areas of the feminine experience. It didn't matter whether it was mine or not, directly in this life, personally or not. It was something so bigger. And in that, bringing the light of my consciousness to it, bringing that emotional intelligence somehow to it, it freed up so much space in me, and it allowed me to also access so much more power, because it was so powerful to experience, and it was so empowering to actually have gone there. And I think so much of the time, like, our power is kind of locked up in these experiences that we don't want to have, because we automatically try and avoid them, because we're always trying to seek out like the good experiences, you know. And I was thinking about this I don't know, in the last 24 hours, where it's like, okay, this call for Tantrahuasca, for the women, you know, who are joining us in the circle that's already, you know, gathering. It's like, you need to be brave. You need to be ready to go there. You know, I think it's important that we actually really like lay that part down. It's like, you know, the medicine can be gentle with you. We're obviously like, we're super loving beings, so we're going to be super gentle with you. We're going to hold you in so much love, and the jungle's going to hold you, and it's going to be so nurturing and lush. But you have to have that kind of courage in your soul where you're like, I'm ready to go there. I'm ready. I'm open to wherever it is that I need to go, even if it's uncomfortable in the moment. I mean, your description of like, okay, you're kind of like getting slammed on the floor, like the back of your heart, whatever. It's like, you know, someone might listen to that and be like, oh my God, I don't know if I want that experience. But it's like, if you're open to claiming your power, if you're open to actually experiencing your fullness, because all of this is within you, whether it's like the spectrum of your own emotion or whether it's the depth of your own experience. And it's just like, if you have that call, and I feel like if you have it, you know you have it, you know. It's like courage, even if there's fear of like, oh my God, what will come up, or will I be uncomfortable, or will it, you know, how will it be? It's the unknown in so many ways. But if you have that courage to be like, okay, I'm gonna go there. Nigel's ready and open. Thank you. For men, it's coming.
I've had a few men ask, if I grow my hair long, can I come?
I know, right? Well, it's all coming, you know, but yeah, anyway, it's like having that courage to go there and that trust. And really that trust, yes, it's in the medicine. Yes, it's in me and Millie. Yes, it's in whatever it's in, you know, but it's in you. It's in the goddess within you. It's like, do you have that trust in yourself? Do you have that trust that like she will lead you through whatever it is that you need to go through, and that ultimately it's going to bring you deeper into your power. It's going to bring you deeper into your heart, into your love. It's going to allow you to know yourself and to grow. And really, it's just like more and more, I'm just like, what is more important than your growth? Really? Like, what are you on the planet to do? It's really like, just like any flower, any fruit, it's like to blossom into your fullness. So if it's going to be that, even if it's scary, even if it's the unknown, even if it's an investment, even if whatever, all the human reasons where you're just like, I don't know. We love you too. Yeah, you just know that is, it's your purpose, you know. And it's like claiming that purpose, claiming that goddess within you is the same as claiming your purpose, because that's who you are. It's your essence. And once you've claimed that, or you're in that journey of coming home to that, I don't know, it just feels to me anyway, it's like, what's more important, you know, because in the end that serves everything else that you do.
It does. It serves everything. And that's, for me, there's no other way to live. Like, since I've been on this path, like, I am so aware of, you know, when energy, emotion, have we lost you, Kashi? I think we've lost her. I'll carry on for a bit and hopefully she comes back. But when we don't fully process things, like feeling gives the opportunity for healing. And if we're not prepared to feel what's inside, it just gets repressed, right? You know, the cork bottle, if you like put the cork in and you keep it in, and you constrict the body, you constrict the throat, you constrict the breath, you don't, oh, we have lost her. Yeah, but if we really constrict and don't allow what's there inside to be felt, it's just going to get shoved down inside us, and that gets stored in our system. And that is what then over time goes into the, you know, into the personal unconscious, it goes into the body, and over generations it also gets stored then in the collective unconscious. So yeah, if we're not doing this work to really listen in and feel, we may well have a beautiful life and beautiful relating, but we're not going to be able to go anywhere as deep into intimacy with another one, into really what it is that your life is, that our life is, if we're not feeling and opening up to that. And that is what I feel is the reason for so much depression on this planet, so many mental health issues, is because people are disconnected, right? Primarily disconnected to themselves. We grow up in a society where you're taught that you have to be like this or this to receive love, to get attention, to, you know, do all of, you know, to receive all the things that the child needs and wants. So we adapt ourselves to keep that connection with our caregivers. We adapt ourselves, and so we repress and squash our own, whether it's anger or tears or joyfulness or play, or she's back, okay. And we all of us really in this modern age learn to adapt ourselves, to put on a facade in a way that will keep us socially safe. And we're obviously, as children, we're absolutely dependent on that. So then the role, Kashi, I see you're here, but I think you have to request. Ah, okay, that you have requested. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, she's back. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just talking about, oh, now I'm not hearing you.
Oh no.
Oh, no, I am. Yes, it just looked like you're moving. Yeah, no, I'm talking about, like,
yeah,
the importance of feeling, really, and why for me and for you and for many people that we spend time with, that we're on this search into diving deep and getting the courage to face these, you know, often difficult places inside.
and getting under, like, that's kind of what I heard as well as I was coming in. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I just, some words here and there cut out.
Okay.
Getting what?
Getting underneath the mask, you
Under the
know?
mask. Yeah.
Yeah. Like basically getting to find out who we are when we peel back all of these learned behaviors that you were just talking about, because we learn them for survival. We learn them so that we can navigate the world, so that we can literally, like, it's a primal instinct. It's like how, so we can get food, get shelter, get love. You know, it's like we learn these things, and then it's like, who are we when we remove all of those behaviors?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that's really the work that we're doing here, and that's, to me, like, is what ayahuasca, like the beauty of ayahuasca is that side allows us to feel them, allows them in some cases to re-experience if we can handle it. I have so much trust in the medicine that she gives us what we can handle. Sometimes it's re-experiencing that, or re-feeling what were those difficult experiences earlier on in our lives, or in the collective unconscious, or and it's through that feeling that we, and bringing that light of our consciousness to it, that it opens it up to be healed. And then that doesn't have the control over us anymore, because until we heal these things, they're inside us, limiting us. They're keeping us in fear, they're keeping us disconnected, they're keeping us small, they're keeping us away from our power. And away
from, because they literally,
passion. I'm lip reading now. Away from our passion.
I said pleasure, but you were close.
Pleasure.
To the lip reading.
Passion.
Yeah. So why I'm like pressing the heart button to see if it will make the sound work. No logic in that at all.
Send more love.
No, but like in our pleasure, because literally, and this is where the tantra part comes in as well, it's like that flow of energy in the body, that availability to feel, to have the space to let that energy flow and bring life and aliveness, you know. So it literally, it's just like the more we're holding all these things still, it's like the smaller we become. We're like unconsciously living in these little boxes that are actually inside our own body. And when we clear out that rubble, it's like, wow, we become so much bigger. We become so much more alive. We become so much more available to not just sexual pleasure, but also to joy, to peace, to all of this beauty that is available to us as human beings. And yeah, and just and also to more ability to feel, right? Even if it's not just the beautiful stuff, ability to just feel what's there and to be available to feel what's really there, because you become fearless. You become much less inhibited on every level. So you're just able to actually feel fearlessly your feelings and then allow them to move through you, instead of constantly like in this fight with yourself to like lock certain feelings away and avoid certain parts of you. And it's exhausting. So it ends up becoming depleting. And this is literally why people age, you know, because it's like that's what siphons your life force, your chi. And then when you clear out that rubble, then you're able to optimize your humanity and your divinity, really.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And our capacity for pleasure is as big as our capacity to feel pain. Like if we're shutting ourselves off from feeling pain, we're also shutting off our capacity to feel pleasure. It's that having that connection into your body and into the present moment, and it's bringing acceptance to that. It's like also the tantric path as well, is that bringing acceptance to whatever is present for you in that moment. And as we learn to be able to open to and feel these difficult feelings or pain, whether it's physical or emotional, where was I going? We have to also, with that, we develop our own resilience, and we develop that capacity to be the witness, to not be lost into the pain, to not be overcome by the pain. Like the pain can be absolutely immense, but we can still be in that pure place of witness and just allowing it to happen through us. And this becomes life happening through us, which is, to me, is like one of the biggest gifts really of being alive, to be like purely connected into that energy. And that energy in the moment can be pure pleasure, or it can be pure grief. And even if it's grief, there's moments like I've experienced some of, like, you know, as you know, like the, you know, grief to lose the closest person to me in this life. And the pure grief in itself, there's a beauty to it. It's just this pure presence of this emotion flowing through. When we block it, that's when we lower we lose life force energy and we become depressed. Like it all gets like locked in. And just through allowing it to flow, it's painful, and it's okay to feel that pain.
And it cracks us open. It can crack us open to more of life.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like that's actually like, you know, something I really honor in you and celebrate in you. It's like what you've been through with grief and how you've navigated it and allowed it to crack you open. Like the first time I saw you, after it had been years actually, but the minute you walked in the room, I was like, wow, because I felt your heart was just fully open, and so many people could potentially have just closed, you know. And it's like allowing that experience, whatever part of the emotional spectrum it's on, to keep cracking you open to life, to keep saying thank you, keep saying yes to the human experience. And that's where the trust comes in, you know. And trust is a very feminine energy in a way. So I guess, again, that can bring us full circle back to the goddess. It's like when you trust in that divinity, and whether you call it the universe or God or Mother Nature or the goddess or whatever it is, it's like you trust in that, you trust in life. And that's the thing with the goddess, you know, feminine is life. So she's all of it. So that's also that ability to realize that you are all of it. You know, like, what does it mean to be a goddess? Like, to allow yourself to experience life and to know that you're all of it, and that it's all included, because it's all part of living, and all bring you deeper into love. And that's really, you know, again, coming back to the tantric part, it's like really bringing it all back into that state of union with love, that is your nature, that is your essence, that is that goddess.
Yes. And that is what we'll be doing, really, is you working with different tools, different practices, many beautiful practices that have brought me a lot in my life, have brought you a lot in your life. Also working with the medicine to really open us up to feel what's inside, to heal the parts that are really holding us back from living the fullness of our life, and coming into wholeness. And, you know, heal, actually the word heal comes from the same root as whole. Like healing is actually to bring us back into a state of wholeness. You know, all those parts that have been like repressed or shunned or in the kind of you know, split off. It's integrating all of those back into ourselves, embracing every part of us that we can become whole, integrated, full, complete within ourselves. And from there, we're a full cup. From then, we're connected. And from there, we can love another and others and life and everything on this planet from that full place, not from that needy place looking for other people or other situations to compensate for the holes that we're feeling inside, because we haven't done that work. So this is the work. That's why it's so empowering.
Yeah, and I think it's also important, like on that note, basically, it's like all of you is welcome. There's no part of you that isn't welcome in this circle, you know? It's like you can come with all of you, and that's what this is about. It's about returning all of you to love. It's about integrating all of it. It's so, you know, wherever you are, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, but I'm just not at that stage, or whatever your mind is tripping on, you know, just like take a deep breath, drop into your body, drop into your heart, and ask yourself, is this really going to serve you? Is it going to serve your soul, your solution, your purpose in this life? And if the answer is yes, and you know that deep inside, then you know, you know, you know, you know, no, you know, no, you, and trust that you go first. If you go yes, whether it's to Tantrahuasca or whether it's to whatever it is in your life that's just like, you know it from that place deep within you, then when you go first and you say yes, I'm in, how I'm going to get from A to B or whatever it is, but I'm in, I'm committed, I know this from my soul, the universe will align to that. Yeah, and this is your power, this is your sovereignty, this is your divine gift as a co-creator on earth. And we have been so separated from that gift, and that gift has been so distorted and manipulated in so many ways. But this is also a big part of this work, is to bring you to your sovereignty, to your ability to lead yourself and to decide and to choose, and not to be a victim of circumstance or other people or your conditioning or your society or the people that live in your village or whatever it is. It's like you decide and you have that power, and that is everything. It's there already. It's just like remembering and coming home to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Of this, I feel like we could jam all day, but we can so.
Yeah. I think we're kind of getting towards like the full circle.
Yeah. I think
power before your power goes. The joys of jungle living.
Joys of jungle living, but it's so worth it. I guess that's one thing I can also just like share before we conclude, is like this place, which you cannot see because I have a white wall behind me, but basically we are holding Tantrahuasca in the most beautiful jungle resort in Costa Rica, the Caribbean side. Right now it's summer season, so the weather is glorious. Actually, the rain has stopped now, but like there's very little rain. But it's lush, tropical lushness. We're up on a hill. Our location overlooks the ocean. So there's going to be beach time, there's waterfalls, there's so much nature to support you coming back to your nature. And that's just, yeah, it's the most biodiverse country on the planet, something like that. And you feel it. You feel like you're surrounded by so many creatures, beings, plants, animals that are being themselves. So I just feel like being in that field. I know this because I see it all around me, and I see the transformation that takes place even when people come here for a few days. It's so powerful. It brings you, it supports you.
Yeah. And also the sisters, also the circle. You know, it's through the mirrors of each other that we get to learn about ourselves, right? And then we get to have a safe space to try out new ways of being, you know, that we can heal things, and then we can make little shifts. But then when we go back to our lives, the people in our lives know us as who we were a week ago. So it really helps to have that solid circle of supportive sisters all there supporting you in your growth, supporting you to see you in your highest potential, to see you in your truth and your authenticity. So it's like by the nature and by Kashi and me, and by the circle of the other women there, we're all inviting you into your fullest, wholest, most radiant, glorious self. And it's just so nourishing to be amongst a group of women. So, yes. And not just a group of women, but a group of women that are really called to know themselves deeply and to do this work.
Yeah, and sharing that intention, because it just magnifies the field. And this is what happens when we gather, and it's like we're creating a field. It becomes a portal. And the work that every woman is doing individually contributes to that field, and the prayer and the intention and the love that gets poured into it from everybody ends up nurturing everybody and making it more potent for everybody else. So what it does is it ends up expediting your growth. It's like a catalyst for all of it to happen really faster. So it's kind of like it's quantum leap. It's a field that supports you to quantum leap. So, you know, whatever is your expectation, whatever, it's like you're going to go beyond even that, because it's beyond what your mind is able to project, because it's a space in which you can just like leap way further than what you would imagine.
Yes. And what you'd be able to do alone. Yes. So we're super excited. I'm going to be getting on a plane to Costa Rica in 2.5 weeks.
Yes, you
for the
are.
first time, and then we have a week or so to land, to arrive, and then we're diving in. So yeah, I mean, we'll put the website link also. You can find out, Ava. You can find out a lot more information there on the website. And I'm just inviting you to tune in to your body and feel if that call is there to join us.
And also, if you have questions, because, you know, this could bring up a lot of questions for you, we're here for that. And I would love for people who are watching this, if you're still watching as well, thank you for staying with us. Maybe you can write comments. Just anything you received from this transmission, anything that you would love to know. Just let us know that you saw us, because we've never done a live I've never done a Facebook Live, so I'm super curious and like excited to reach out, because some of the people in this network are like really, really old and beloved friends. So if you do watch this, then just you're a little note, and if you have questions or if you think that there's somebody you know that would really benefit from the Tantrahuasca journey, then please feel free to share this live.
Anyone that's female.
Oh yes, anyone that's it's also
and seeds have been sown. Beautiful men out there, seeds have been sown. We really hear there's a lot of demand. So
and also just like for men, I mean, obviously Tantrahuasca is a female container, so that's for women. But if you want to share this live, with men in your life, that's so beautiful, because as we we're doing this together, men, women, we're in it together. So, you know, share the love, guys. We love you. Thank you for us.
Yes. Oh. Wow. Well, my dear, we'll check in soon. See you soon. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you before long. Hopefully see you in Costa Rica, in paradise, very soon.
Blessings. Ciao, familia.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.